Ladies and gentlemen, this is John McLean with McLean Films, and we're on location in Barrie, Ontario. And today we have a very special guest. He can introduce himself, actually. So, what's your first name?
My name is Devin.
Dad or Devin? Okay. And you're living in Barrie, Ontario right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Been here for about 2 years.
Wow. So you've been in Barrie for 2 years now. So where are you from originally?
Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And you lived there all your life? You were born there?
Yeah. Well, here I settled a bit in Parry Sound about 4 years ago, and then work dried up come winter, so I packed a bag and came to Barrie, and I've been here since then. I was forced to go home for a couple months during COVID, but then I just came back here because it was like the closest really like city to Sault Ste. Marie that really I could establish myself in, right? So.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what brought you to Barrie, though. What was the reason for moving here? What was your main
everybody from the Soo knows that if you don't leave the Soo and you stay there your whole life, living how I grew up, that's how you're gonna live your whole life and probably die. So either young or old, you're gonna live your life your whole life like that. And then a couple of traumatic things kind of like happened to my friends. So I was just like, I had it. And the first time I left town with no license, drove a car to Sudbury, and then literally when I got to Sudbury, my mom had called me. She told me my Uncle Bob had passed away in St. Catharines. So the cops took my car in Sudbury later that day, and I went all the way to St. Catharines on from hitchhiking and trains and whatever. Got all the way up there, and then I just figured I didn't want to go back home after that, so I just went and settled in Parry Sound for a little bit, and then ended up here.
Okay, that's quite the travel.
Yeah, man, it was quite the adventure too. Like a vision quest, if you will.
Vision quest.
Yeah.
Okay, and you went to school in Sault Ste. Marie?
Yeah, I went. Yeah.
What was your highest level of education in Sault Ste. Marie?
I had a little bit of trouble with finishing the high school because of the group home situation, but I finished the group home. No, I graduated from high school, and then I did a year and a half of college. So I didn't complete the certification for MET, but I got some of the prerequisites into mechanical engineering.
What does MAT stand for?
MET, mechanical engineering technician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I know how to use make and dial in metal parts and use lathes and stuff like that. And
oh, okay.
A little bit of fab, stuff like that.
So you said you were in a group home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did growing up? How did you end up in a group home?
So that's a little bit of a weird thing because I grew up in a really good situation with my both parents. I had played every single sport, and they both had good jobs. I watched my parents grow us from living in a semi-detached home into a pretty expensive neighborhood of town and a really nice home. And then they kind of just, after my grandfather died, they just spiraled out and had a divorce. My dad ended up leaving. Then my mom had a cancer that she had to go through at the time. So many things collided at one time when I was in grade 9 that it was easier for me to. At first, it was a punishment. I got put in the group home. Got brought down there a couple days after my 16th birthday by my mom's doing by calling. And then when she got her cancer, she said I could move back home. And I moved back home just to take care of her. And then when she was back on her feet, I just went back to the group home. It was just easier at that point to make that decision. I'd kind of already, outgrown
your stay?
Not my stay, but I'd outgrown them. My maturity wasn't there anymore. I didn't need my parents anymore. I've already broken free, you know what I mean? I didn't need to learn anything more further from them. I just needed to learn, from life and what I was doing. So I was just as bad as it is there, I'm already capable. So yeah, that was.
No, I understand what you're saying. You just felt like
it was just a pivotal change going from hockey and living in a good neighborhood to group home. I lost all of my hockey friends, all of the people that were really close to me because they just didn't want to hang out. You know what I mean? Because they didn't like kid in the group home.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I guess that when you're living in a group home, it kind of gives you a bad reputation.
Oh, yeah. Especially in Sault Ste. Marie, man.
Like a false reputation.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's a stigma, right?
That's just it,
like,
stigma.
Any kid in the world can be fucking homeless for a minute and they end up there, and then it's just like, then there's just a stigma because like a lot of the kids, you know what I mean? Like I can't even lie. Like I got into a lot of trouble when I lived at the group home and behaved in a lot of ways, but you know what I mean? There's kids out there growing up with their parents that are making 3 times the amount of, you know, mistakes. And they're getting away with it scotch-free. And I got caught every time and I learned my lessons, you know what I mean? So it's just like, would I do it differently now? No, because it saved me some freaking time.
Okay,
long run.
Yeah. So everything was good at home other than that, right? Were you like, were you abused at home? Any childhood abuse, mentally, physical?
There's a lot of...
like I'm just trying to dig in to see
no.
What got you here?
For sure. Like there's a lot going on there. And like I'm sure like a lot of people, especially in Canada, like that grow up in hockey homes, like go through this, you know what I mean? Like my dad was my coach in every single sport. He pushed sports. And people that know me now, I'm not a sports head. You know what I mean? I don't follow sports. You know, I'm active. I'm an athlete for sure, but I'm not a sports fan. You know what I mean? And if I had an art outlet as a kid, maybe it'd be a little better. But it was always sports. And then like that was always like I'd go to practice or a game, and it'd be like I'd have to be have a certain decorum, you know what I mean, for my dad's reputation. And it just wasn't fair on me. Like I get beat after practice. My parents would pay me when I didn't get penalties sometimes because I was such a rebellious little guy, you know what I mean? So they pay me and like incentivize me not to get penalties, and like they just give me stuff or shit for like embarrassing them a lot, you know what I mean? And just like I'd lose something when we were out, and I'd get in so much trouble. And it's just like I would do certain things that would be so like, no, you're not allowed to do that. Like I'd paint something or I'd do something, you know, like that was natural within me, and try to express that. And it was just like, no. Like my dad definitely hit me a lot. My mom, not so much. Like there was some, but my dad like a lot. Like I remember this one time I woke up in the middle of the night and I had these like lats in my bed that kept falling out, and they were making too much noise. So I was trying to stack them back, and he comes to my room, hit me with it, and told me to go to bed, and I fell asleep in the corner that night. Another time I got fired from a job, and he was talking like right in front of me, talking to my mom about like all the stuff I did wrong. And I was like hearing that, and I walked up to him. I'm like, you could talk to me, I'm a man, I'm right here. And this is while I was leaving my mom, and he looked at me, and he's just like, it looks like you want to hit me. And I looked at him and I'm like, yeah, I do. Honestly, I've have for a very long time. And he's just like, don't let fear stop you, son. And that was the first time I ever hit my dad. Punched him in the nose. And then I don't really know what became of that, because he got on top of me, beat the shit out of me with his watch, and tore my eye socket this way. I still have marks on my forehead. Like, you know what I mean? Like he mutilated me a couple times as a kid like that. And this is like,
how was your relationship with your dad after that?
I don't have one.
You didn't have one after that?
A little bit. It's touch and go. Like now,
no,
like
that's what I mean.
He wanted to be my sports coach as sports coach as a kid, but now he doesn't even casual conversation. It's just like not happening, because it's just like after he stopped being able to like showboat me in that presence, he just lost interest. I don't know. So
you're like a trophy for him. It's almost like something that he's missing that he didn't do.
Yeah.
So he was trying to relive it through you.
Yeah.
Right?
And then it's just like there's only a couple, you know, admirable men in my family, and my grandfather and my grandpa died before I really got to have those a lot of those conversations. Okay. So my Uncle Bob, he passed away like before I got to have a lot of those conversations as well. So my dad's really it. He's not really an admirable man, but like he's still a man that's gone through it, and he doesn't find any importance of having those like casual conversations go a long way. And like, you know, he's my dad.
Absolutely.
I'm fucking 27 years old and I need my dad. You know what I mean? That's fucking sad to fucking say. I don't want to be 30 and be like, I need my fucking dad, and I'm never having those conversations.
Yeah, that is a horrible thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I grew up the same way.
It's just like you're poking, you're trying to have those conversations. He's just like, it was ingrained in him from his dad, you know what I mean? You don't talk about those things, so it's just like, as much as I try, I don't think I'll ever have some of those conversations. Or like moments, again, with my dad, you know what I mean? 27, and it's just like I stopped being his kid.
No, that's just, Do you have any kids of your own yet?
No.
No, nothing?
No. I've raised a couple of my friends' kids and helped raise them out of high school. So it's just like, and plus I got really lucky, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Do you want kids?
No, I got a puppy.
Oh, you got a puppy. Okay, so I'll substitute for now, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll try that first. You know, it's a crazy world, and like when you're trying to tackle the world and get somewhere, you don't really want to bring a kid in the mix of it. You kind of want to be there and have sustainability. Where I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I'm not comfortable, nor do I want sustainability. Like not sustainability, but like comfortability. You know, and like where like an atmosphere that you'd raise a kid in. You know what I mean? I don't want really that for my life right now. I'm too. Like
you're too busy. You want to live your life before you can take the responsibility.
I just fucking started living my life, so it's just
there you go. You're only 27.
just started.
I know.
No, I'm not really giving up.
You seem more mature. That's why I'm thinking you're older.
Yeah, only 27. People are like, you're 34 and shit. I'm like, no.
Because you're mature.
I know.
Okay. Okay, D. We're gonna drift back onto the group home there.
Okay.
You said you want to talk about what things went on in the group home and let people be aware of the things that were going on when you're growing up at the group home, so you have a better understanding.
Yeah, so pretty much just like coming from where I came from and being immersed into that kind of like culture and atmosphere was just like, I came from a hockey background and like, you know what I mean, a more, you know, prim and proper upbringing and stuff like that, and then you get immersed in the group home with like people that have had drug addicts for parents and like, you know, people that are like okay with stealing and stuff like that, and it's just like it was either survival of the fittest in there. So like when I first went there, I had one of my roommate was a kid toucher, so that was like a fear for the first little bit. I literally slept with 2 pairs of pants and knives in my pants for the first couple days until like I met him and I knew I could take him, kind of deal. And then just like $37 a month to survive wasn't a lot. So like people leaving the group home and then like weren't there, like often their stuff would get like stolen a lot. And yeah, I definitely took place in that. Or like we'd be hanging out on the lakefront and stuff, and we'd do some break and enters into like, you know, local abandoned businesses and buildings and stuff like that. Just being shithead little kids and stuff like that. I just definitely got caught up in all of that, but it was like, it was a whole new world for me. So it was just like, people know when you grow up like that, right? And they know when you're an outsider to that. So I was definitely an outsider at first, and people were like, I don't know, stuck out like a sore thumb. So that was definitely difficult, man. And that was like, brought me into like, thank God they had like a transitional home. So when I was 18, I got from the group home into the transitional home, and that was like my first pad, you know what I mean? And I kept that for a little bit, but you weren't allowed smoking inside, so I eventually got kicked out of that. And then I started trying to find my own places, and yeah, eventually like just hard as heck to, like, as a young guy, find your own place. And you know, when I was in college, I went to college after I graduated, and that I was holding myself up at housing. I was in housing at that time, in a really bad neighborhood next to a YMCA in this little project, and it was so bad there. So I had all this money, and I was doing all right, going to college, and in a neighborhood where people didn't have money like that, right? So I could help out my friends, but I could also take advantage of my friends, you know what I mean, in a lot of ways, because I had that income, right? So people come to my house for like, you know, pot or, you know, different things, and they wouldn't have money, so like I'd end up having their stuff, you know what I mean? They'd trade their stuff, and I'd just give it to them anyways, but, you know, get carried away, and then they'd just be trading me their stuff for stuff, you know what I mean? Got carried away, and then like the girl I was with at the time kind of like took advantage of that fact, and like would make trades behind my back and stuff like that, and like the usual stuff that goes along with it. And then she just like, all of a sudden, like she got into the drugs a little bit heavier than I did at the time, and like I was using coke with her and stuff like that here and there, but she got into a lot heavier, smoking hard, and she left me and started smoking crack with this guy that, you know, just got out of jail. I just got out of college, but you want to leave me for a guy that just got out of jail. So it kind of bent my head up a little bit. So that's when I started smoking hard, and I met up with this girl, and I started selling and smoking it. to like my friends and neighborhood, and 3 months down the road, like went from having my own business and doing well and having three guys employed with me to having, you know, just myself employed, barely, you know, making any money, saving any money, or paying any bills. I was just, you know, feeding the hind.
You had your own business.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Well, it was like a small business out of college. I started just shoveling snow and stuff like that, and then I was doing like landscaping and contract stuff, staying versatile. But I could always like give myself work, and I could always give other people work and like bring them into jobs and stuff like that. So I went from being all right doing that to only feeding myself, and not even feeding myself, just feeding my habit. You know what I mean? And then it got to the point where I was like sunglasses on this really like better or well-off client, and I had sunglasses on because I was so messed up, and I was getting paid to go get messed up again afterwards, and I was just like tricking my brain, like I didn't need it, and now I know that you don't need it. You don't need crack, absolutely not. And so I quit, and I quit cold turkey, and I put myself kind of just like I was living at a hotel after I moved out of the housing unit I was living in. So I went and lived at a hotel and got clean cold turkey there. But while I was getting clean and kind of like made that decision to kind of ties for the moment and get clean, the girl I was dating at the time and using with, she went back to her ex-boyfriend, and 5 days after I, you know, parted ways, she was up in his place and she was hot-shotted by him. And then 5 months later, I go, you know, back to the streets to kind of, you know, link my people and have some kind of connection again instead of just being to myself. And I couldn't find her, and then her friends told me she had passed away. I found the obituary post, and you know what I mean? It's just,
no, that's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, because you're trying to better yourself, right? And then you're the person that you love.
Yeah.
You come out and you find out she's passed
Well, I
on.
think about responsibilities of like to a person. I know this more as an adult, like that if you have somebody in your life, you have a responsibility. You know what I mean? You can't be so lax on that. And now looking back, like everybody can say, all my friends can say it wasn't my fault, but in a provider and supporters aspect, that freaking was my fault. I chopped her like she was dead weight. I was supporter. She went back to the old supporter who I knew was a prevalent drug dealer, hot-shotted her. So I'd seen all those things afterwards, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, that was on me. It's not on me because it was what I needed to do at the time, but you don't, you know what I mean? Like, you don't take your responsibility to people lightly, because that's what can fucking happen. Right?
You just feel kind of guilty a little bit because you took her to the wrong people.
No, because I cut ties with her, and then she went back to her old man. Yeah, so it's like, I took her away from the wrong people, but then she went back to the wrong people because she had nowhere else to go, and then they were mad about her flip-flop, and they hot-shotted her, right? Yeah, it's where we live in, man. Yeah.
No, it's horrible. I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah, no, me neither. I didn't know. Like, it took me a while to surface everything and all the parts of like what actually had transpired while I was gone and stuff. And yeah, it was 5 days after that I cut ties with her because I looked back in messages and when it happened. And
how long ago was that now?
Probably almost 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about it today?
Same.
Same way?
Exact same way. Like, it's not as triggering and traumatic. Like, it used to like make me shake, and I used to be really like getting like a daze about things. Like, everything was kind of numb. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know. I kind of shook that off because it's just like everybody knows in the past 4 years you've lost more friends than you. I have freckles. You know what I mean? Like, like way more. It's the pandemic right now is no joke. That's for sure.
No, it's a horrible thing that you had to go through, especially at a young age.
Yeah.
You know, like you're what, 23 or 24?
Yeah, at that time. Yeah.
Or even younger, actually.
Yeah.
6 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that was like I got clean briefly before that, but I never got that hard into drugs. Like usually people like take a couple times, but mine, like I thought I was clean and then I graduated into a whole nother drug, right? Like I went to, when I was on doing pills and stuff like that, I went to a healing lodge for a week, and then in Bedab in just beside Marathon, in Pick River, did like a spiritual healing, sweat lodges, all that. Thought it was good, and then that kind of tipped off, and that's a triggering thing for me, like toxic relationships. If somebody, or even like people I know, if somebody does something and I can't grasp it or understand it, I'm gonna try it, and if I try it, it can get carried away. You know what I mean? Like, first time I cut was because somebody else cut. You know what I mean? First time I tried crack was because somebody else tried crack. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you did the cutting thing as well?
And I didn't do it a lot. I wasn't like other people, but I never understood it. And the first time I did it, and like, was because somebody else did it. I was a burner as a kid. I burned myself and stuff.
So do you have like I don't know if it's called an addictive personality, or did you like just to follow people to fit in?
No, it wasn't like that. It was more of like I have an attachment to somebody, I love them. I can't understand why they do that though. You know what I mean? Like, she left me to smoke crack with a guy that got out of jail. So it must be great, because our life was pretty great. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna smoke crack because it's gonna be great. You know what I mean? I see these people cutting all the time, but they don't seem to dwell on their problems and be as sad about their shit as I do. So I'm gonna cut so I can understand where that strength and power comes
from. Absolutely,
you know
absolutely. I mean? Emotional trauma is no joke, and I understand the feeling, so I know where you're coming from, right? You think of just like to numb the pain, right?
Yeah, but like growing up that way I did, after getting dropped at that like age, I kind of just started looking to other people, like, what am I doing that I need to do that I don't know yet? So I learned that, and then like I got to try it before I knock it, right?
No, fair enough. And you tried it, right? And it kind of
pretty much did.
And it kind of suckered you in a bit.
Process of elimination.
Yeah. I like your way of thinking. You got a good. At least you're positive. You overcome everything.
Not everything. There's just a lot of things. Like those are.
For the most part, you know, you've overcome. You're still alive.
You're
still alive.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate. A lot of those things is just like very unfortunate. I'm fortunate to be where I am and had gone through all those things to be who I am, but it's unfortunate that as a human being, half of my life is already spent dealing with, you know, what everybody else put on me, not who I wanted to be. You know what I mean? It was school, sports, and now all this trauma and trying to survive, and it's just like, all I wanted to do was, you know what I mean, like fill my part in the world, and I would have grown into that, but no, I had to do all these other things the world, you know, kind of formed me into.
So this is a quick question. How do you feel about yourself right now?
And going in
2023, how do you feel about yourself? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel happy with your life? Do you feel like you're helping people, obviously, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm helping people, but I'm helping myself. I feel like that healing, it's a lot more, like my ability to let that in fully is a lot stronger. And it's not even only that, my ability to recognize and not ignore certain things that I go and do, right? Like, say for instance, when we had the, what's it called, overdose awareness night. Putting down the candle. And saying my thing while I put down the candle was one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to experience in a long time. Because as soon as, like, I watched the person before me, they put the candle down and they said their piece or whatever, and but I put the candle down. I never got to say goodbye to her like that until that. So when I put it down, I didn't know how hard it was gonna hit me, but it was just like, whoosh. So like, being more aware of those things would be something I'd want more of, but I'm definitely proud of myself. I'm proud of, you know, always pushing the boundaries and the boxes and like elevating who I was. I don't need any clothing, I don't need any things around me. I just need good people and the things that like I know inside me, and that feels like growth, you know what I mean? And I can feel that growth. Like, you could strip everything away from me and put me on the street right now, and I would make it back up where I am right now. No problem. Well, not no problem, but I'd get there again because...
No, that's a good way of thinking. That's positive, you know? You're a very strong, positive person, and I get that from you.
But it breaks my balls seeing all these other people out here, and it's just like, I was there before, and it's just like, I never thought there was an out of it. And then I just started to wiggle out of it. There's still no out of it, but I mean, there's an out of.
You just need to break away from that chain of people.
Yeah. Well, people think like in the soup, people think that's life.
Yeah.
Like people think that's all. Like there's no news. There's no. They don't even care about the restaurants that are up and down the street because they can't afford it half the time. It's just like, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
no.
It's I don't know.
No, it's very heartbreaking. I know. That,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, like I said that in that interview I did forever ago. It's like they won't go to restaurants. Some of the restaurants I'm going to go to in my life, they're going to live around them and never go to them ever in their life. You know what I mean? Like people are going to grow up, grow old, never going to like, you know, like Bonsu or like different events. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, football game, baseball game,
Yeah.
wrestling, boxing, whatever, right?
yeah, and there's a lot of like homeless people now. Like you think they would like to enjoy some of the events that they have for community in Barrie, but
Yeah.
I guarantee you, like the people, the homeless people, the people like don't have like a lot of money and shit. They want to go to those events too, but there's more of a crowd here that's not accepting of that. So it's just like,
oh God, yeah, that's another thing, you know.
yeah, I had a moment last night. I was watching something on YouTube. And they were talking about Meridian over here being a homeless hangout. You see this? You see this real estate?
That.
Oh my God! These two
shared it.
Yeah, there's two real estate agents.
Yeah.
They're going off. They're like, I don't feel safe. You know, I don't feel safe. I feel uncomfortable. Yet this homeless person walks outside of the shelter that you give them. They look up like this at your building. They go down up and down the street, looking at all the different gluttony you can find, and then you're not allowed to go sit at the Bayfront. You're not allowed to sit in Meridian Square. It makes you uncomfortable. Go the hell home.
No, I know. I know.
Nobody cares.
I just giggle because
it would be nice
so
if
silly.
it'd be nice if there was an area like make some you know, some say like I don't know. It's such a topic of the day to talk about.
Well,
right? It's just like, what are we gonna make? Safe injection sites? It's just like that's a one size fits all for addicts. That's not homelessness in general.
No,
you know what I mean? Because I know tons of homeless old men that are out here that aren't drug addicts. They don't want to live, and they don't have the physical ability to compete with the the renting market nowadays. So like, screw it.
No, yeah, I might be homeless soon.
It's a good option sometimes. It's a good option.
Being homeless?
It's in my brain every month. It's like, do I pay this shitty landlord money for not taking care of their home to pay off their home?
I know.
Or do I go bring a tent and a bunch of pallets into the bush and get a hatchet? And
I guess the way we're cool with everyone, so
yeah, we would do pretty well.
Yeah,
we would do pretty well. I know where to go. I'd have food all day.
Now back to the safe injection thing you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of that, but I think it's a good idea and a bad idea.
There's a lot of...
It's 50-50.
Yeah, there's a lot behind that one, right?
But however, I heard someone saying before, they said a bar is a safe drinking place,
This is true.
It's the same idea.
So this is pretty much back to like we did safe space in the Sioux.
Same idea.
We had safe space in the Sioux, and people fought us because we set up in Jamestown, a really bad area in Sault Ste. Marie. We'd set up a tent, and we'd let them come use underneath the tent, right? Yeah. But we'd have event, and we'd have like a barbecue, or we'd just set up our safe injection tent, right? Because it's hard. If somebody could be dead 3 days in some of these drug places, and they're just gonna be sitting there around everybody else, and nobody's gonna freaking know.
Absolutely.
So I'd rather them do it in a public space where you have those amenities.
Yeah.
People say they don't believe in harm reduction because they don't like the litter, but I don't like the litter that I see snack packs. There's snack packs are harm.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know.
Snack packs. We're gonna outlaw that next. No snack packs for you kids because we don't like seeing it on the ground.
No, I understand. Yeah, they're getting rid of everything, right?
Yeah,
so.
but I heard a lady the other day in Toronto. She's like, I'm against harm reduction because of all the byproduct. I'm like, holy hell!
A lot of people, and I'm going to say this very freely, they don't understand because they never lived or known anyone that had this problem.
Their head is just so far up their ass.
Like my mom died from a drug overdose.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's 20 years. I say because it bothers me.
Yeah,
it's 20 years ago.
It's shit, but
so I just kind of like it does bother me. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's your mom's
and that's what drives me out here. I'll be honest with you. That's what drives me.
Same with me with Haley, right? Like I went to go look for her, but now I still feel like I'm not looking for her.
Are you not looking for her still, or in a way, are you think you might see her over there? Because I know a lot of people. Well, I know a few people, not a lot of people, that have their child was passed on. Their child, not the girlfriend, their child. And then they said, I'm always looking to see if I see someone with a certain hairstyle. I look and I think it's that whatever, right?
No, like I've seen her and I've seen somebody that like looked like her in public, and then like it caught me like for a second off guard, and I'm like, oh, and then like, or like I've called a girlfriend her name before. That was kind of shit like that, but I don't not like. I'm just never.
That's normal emotion, dude. That's normal emotion, right? That's normal.
Oh yeah, that shit is. But
a big part
especially with a kid, I don't think I have that attachment to it, because so it's not like, you know, because it wasn't like something I was looking out for all the time. You know what I mean? Where as a kid you would be looking out for them all the time. You'd be like, it'd be like in your head, like trying to ingrain.
No, I know you're saying.
As a girlfriend, I'm not like, yo, where are you?
It just you'd be minding your own business, thinking nothing of this person, then you just see someone that just triggers a memory.
Oh yeah, that's sometimes that happens. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
for
what
sure.
happens,
that happens, I think, to just about anybody.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. My head's just like an ongoing acid trip like that, where it's just like I'll be thinking of a memory that happened 17 years ago, and then one that happened 3 years ago, and then I'm thinking about now, and then a memory pops in from some nostalgic smell or something, and then I'm thinking about elementary school. You know what I mean? It's weird. All day it pops into my head.
My mind's all over the place.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I haven't thought about that in a long time. I forgot about that, and I'll write it down so I don't, you know, I'll be like, keep a ledger of it.
So the girlfriend brings a lot of trauma to you, but I can
brought
see
a lot of light too, though.
No, I mean now I don't mean trauma when you're with her. I mean like after her passing.
Yeah. No, but I mean like it's just like the group home was detrimental to me and traumatic to me, but it also beneficial. Yeah. Her passing, detrimental to me. Yeah. Beneficial. In lessons in life.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? It's weird. That's life. That's what shapes us every day. So.
No, you're right. I was just going to say that exactly. It shapes us.
Yeah.
Because
it's kind of weird. A person's just a person until all those things happen.
I don't know what you believe in. I don't know what you don't believe in. But I think sometimes God will put you on a certain path and journey that might be very confusing to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, why me? Why me? Why me? Why am I going through this? I didn't deserve this. Why am I going through this?
Yeah.
But
or you just don't understand it because it's too good. That's my problem.
Or it's too bad. Sometimes the things are too bad, right?
Yeah.
But however,
I don't really get the too bad thing.
Your mind.
I'm good with the too bad.
Your mind is being adjusted. To learn how to deal with what is planned for you ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of good with that, where it's just like I know when those moments. Yeah, I understand when those moments happen now, where all these things are happening for a reason, and I'm not trying to control them anymore. Yeah. Right. I don't try to control them anymore because it happens in a day. A day is not supposed to be a defined thing. It just freaking happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't really try to be like that anymore. And my mom says it all the time. It's just like sometimes I have anxiety or stuff like that.
Absolutely.
She says that's God prompting me. Right?
Oh yeah.
To like say not be in that area or go to a certain place or.
No, that's what it is.
She always says that. She's like, I had this funny feeling today. She's like, yeah, it was just God prompting you.
I'm like, do you believe that? Okay.
In a way.
No, it's true.
In a way, I believe in like pure intention, definitely, and definitely believe in God. But like say like my ex was a Wiccan. She made an abundance jar before like a couple like maybe 6 months ago, before my life started like snowballing and just like progressively not getting better but getting more full. You know what I mean? And she made this abundance jar, and it was like a spiritual Wiccan thing, and it's supposed to bring abundance to our life, and I kept it for a while, and ever since then it just brought abundance to my life. So pure intention is definitely a thing. God's definitely a thing.
Do you still have that?
No, the abundance jar, no, because we broke up, and she kind of took all that stuff.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah, so I mean, I lost the abundance of headache.
Now you got jokes.
I got an abundance of jokes. Got the whole bag.
He's got jokes. Listen to this guy. Okay, now where do you want to bounce off to now?
That's mostly just gonna be muffled fucking bass, anyways.
Okay, sir.
Mr. Mickey Mouse.
Mr. Mickey, that's me, Mickey Mouse. Yeah. They can't see that though.
Yeah.
Okay. When you first came to Barrie, what year was it?
I can't. It's just been
2019.
Well, the beginning of COVID.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So
So you first came
just before COVID.
Barrie, the beginning of COVID.
Yeah, just as I was touching down. So I just sat down here. I got my first apartment. I got my job within a couple days of being in Barrie. I was working out of the factory, and then, what's up, man?
How are you guys?
Good. Man.
Oh, good, buddy.
And then COVID hit, and yeah, man.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good, brother.
No, it's okay.
Then COVID hit, and then I was just kind of like stuck in the apartment I just got, not being able to work, collecting money I, didn't really need to be spending, bored on the side of my bed, in this little room. And I didn't know anybody here, so it was just like those 2 months were quite difficult. Like I'm sure they were for everybody, but they were quite difficult coming to a new city. So it just like took a little bit after COVID to kind of like I still feel like I'm spreading my wings back out, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure everybody during COVID felt like, now we're both like, back to the new world.
Yes.
So that was weird. And then, what's it called? Yeah, just took off from there. And then,
That was D. He was rattling the table there.
my bad.
Okay, and then you're lonely during COVID, you're saying?
Yeah,
You
so,
took
well,
a lot of drinking.
Yeah, I didn't know I was definitely lonely. It was just me and this guy. But
He's got jokes.
yeah. Yeah, no, it was a weird time, that's for sure. And then it's just like going from having like a schedule where I was working to just literally sitting on the side of the bed, right?
Were you using it all when you first came to Barrie?
No, I was
using
already clean. Like
You're already cleaned up, and Barrie's your new start.
3 years, yeah.
Okay.
Like I had like one slip up or two slip ups here over the 2.5, like however long it's been. I think it's been like 2.5, 3 years now. But
Yeah.
I've had like 2 slip ups. Like when I first came up here, I had a little slip up with hard, and I never used it the next day or whatever. It was just a little slip up, and then I never used it the next day. And then I think last year, or no, it was maybe about 4 months ago, I had a slip up.
Okay.
But
That soon, huh? That not that long ago.
no. But it's more of like more of the mindset now, right? Like I can make a mistake and it's not gonna like define me. It's just like
It's not going to set you back.
no,
more.
and
Okay,
it's not like
perfect.
I even find that acceptable in myself now.
yeah.
But I mean, like stuff happens, and like I don't want to be too hard on myself. So it's just like sometimes I allow myself to fall back into old coping mechanisms because I don't know anything else, and like I'm still bridging that gap. And now it's not it's not drugs, it's doing other things, but sometimes other things don't work.
Yeah.
So like 4 months ago, a lot of things collided, and I know I made a mistake because I was using it for that reason. But the next day, it was like I beat the addiction, because like the next day I was just like, I don't need more. Like even like after I took like the first little bit, I was like, I don't need more. I used to always think, oh, more. No, I don't need it.
So you're able to just use it for pleasure or whatever.
Yeah, well, not really. Like that was a mistake. That was definitely a mistake. I'm not one of those addicts that thinks I can use once in a while now.
Okay.
Not at all.
What made you stop and think about and use at that moment? What was that? What happened? What was that
Like
about?
the 4 months ago?
Yeah, 4 months ago.
Oh, a lot of things collided. I was leaving my ex-girlfriend. I just got a promotion at work.
Yeah.
Everything was colliding all at once in a super weird way. So, what's up, brother, man? Yeah, man.
This is the crew. They clean up Barrie.
So just everything was just, oh fuck, I lost my train of thought. Colliding.
I had asked you what was the reason why you used.
Oh yeah. Everything was just colliding, and like all together, work, girlfriend, home life, and where I had moved into a couple months prior, everybody in that house turned out to be a user, and a couple of them were dealers. So it was quite accessible and quite encouraged. So it was a mistake, it was a mistake. Wrong people, wrong time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm definitely a product of my environment, but I control my environment. So that was the wrong environment that I let myself be immersed into, and
Well, hey, we're all human. You're allowed to slip up once in a while.
But it hadn't happened before for like a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Okay.
And like it's more of like
2 years is a long time.
what?
That's a long time.
Yeah. And it's just the mindset has to change on the matter of fact. Still a mistake no matter what, but
Yes.
it kind of what I mean?
Just don't beat yourself up, man.
Too much. Some people beat themselves too much, and then they're like, oh fuck it, I'll use it again.
And then relapse. Yeah, they go back to it because they're beating themselves up too much, and they're like, oh man, I feel so guilty, and I was like, oh, fuck it.
And it wasn't the drug that was the problem. The drug is a problem. Crack is definitely a huge problem, but it's not the drug completely that was the problem at that moment of time in my life.
Yeah.
it was me that was the problem, and I still have those problems, but the drugs not. I've already gotten over that hurdle, so it's not tricking me anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like driving me to be out of balance or be out of my own head at all.
The drug's not tricking you.
No.
The drug's not using you. You're using the drug.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people, they get fester in that, especially as young lads. You know what I mean? They're like, I need more. Like,
That's what. Yeah, exactly.
Like
exactly.
I don't. I just like.
And that's.
It's just like I just have like 3 beer now and put them down instead of 3 beer, then 5 beer, and then a bottle of liquor, and then we're doing some blow. I don't do any of that. 3 beer, fine.
Oh man, I know. I'm the same way.
Yeah. Like I'll still have my fun now, once in a while, but not. My whole definition of fun is a lot different.
You like to go out and drink once in a while? You like to go out and drink once in a while?
I like to stay in and drink.
Or do you stay in?
I'm not
too much trouble.
I don't like the social scenes at bars. It's very select. The bars, like I can go to like an old timers bar, no problem.
Yeah.
But any of the bars like down here, and no thanks.
Okay, no. I was just wondering how you go out and enjoy yourself, right?
Fires would be.
Bonfires and stuff, camping fires.
Small,
yeah.
A nice small. I like smaller. When I start getting too many people, it starts like triggering things.
No.
So I like keeping it smaller, more intimate.
Okay, that's perfect.
I have so much fun with those things. Like you just have a couple guys, and you know what I mean. And you go into my backyard, and we have an empty pool, and we'll run around because the middle's got water in it. We'll run around it and just beat up this little punching bag and act like jackasses and stuff like that. Or, I don't really get drunk a lot anymore for fun.
Okay, that's a good time. That's a good time.
Or for stressed out working reasons because I'm sore. Oh, I'm drinking 5 beer because I'm sore. No, I don't do that.
No, that's not. No.
People do that every day though.
If you drink every day, it becomes a habit. It's like,
but people start. They're like, oh, they're working a construction job. They're like, oh, I got home. I'm sore. I'm gonna drink a couple beer. I'm gonna do this line so I have a little bit more energy. And then it's just like, no, it's not making you do anything better in the long term. Only the short term. But then once you add up those short terms and you don't pay attention to your health, it starts deteriorating. It's just like.
Well, that's just it,
I like my body, and I already can't use it enough as 27. So it's just like I like to skate and do certain things, and I want to continue to be able to do them.
Skateboard and stuff, right?
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
I saw you down here with when you're working, that you're playing hacky sack with the people there.
Yeah. We're playing with the soccer ball there.
A little soccer. Yeah. Oh, soccer ball. You didn't have a little hacky sack? I don't know why I'm thinking now.
Maybe one time I was playing with the soccer ball. Hacky sack would be a great thing to have, like hacky sacks, like circles. We should have them down here.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Maybe I'm on drugs. I don't know.
I'm in the right alley.
Yeah, I'm in the right alley. Yeah, guys, we're in the downtown alley where all those overdoses take over. All the overdoses are taking over downtown, right? So this is where they all happen, right here. Because whenever people are out there and they start feeling kind of oozy or whatever, they always seem to
be more to themselves.
Slide off into here.
Yeah.
Why you do that? Why you come in here?
Yeah.
Stay out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know as much as anybody else. This is a great area to pee.
Yeah, it's a great area to pee, right behind the camera.
Yeah, not here.
I'm not going to show you. Yeah, not where
not here.
D is sitting.
There.
Yeah. Here, I'll show you. I'll just quickly show you. Just to be funny.
You need a demonstration?
Right there. That's the pee spot. See that little stain at the bottom there? That's the pee spot right there. That's where people pee.
Not G, the pee.
Yeah, and here comes some people now. They want to pee. So.
There, go and do it.
It's okay, guys. You can go.
You're good, brother.
We're not going to record you. Come on. I can't afford the royalties with you guys.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
We're doing what?
The royalties.
The
They're paying out the arse.
Oh, for sure. Everybody at home,
There you go. That's really bright.
I think the only thing we got left is pretty much like now and like Ryan's Hope and shit, man.
Sorry, say
all we got is like the shit going on like now, like art shit and like community wise is pretty much where now.
Yeah, that's all we got here.
Yeah, we covered. I didn't think we covered the bases that quick, but we got through it. There's a lot there though.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I'm going to shut this Cisco. Okay, Dee, so you're saying you're doing a lot of outreach work, right? Do you want to get into that? What was your first outreach job and where?
Well, I was at the group home. I had an opportunity to do this thing called the Real World of Work, and that implied I didn't have to go to school. I could find 8 hours work a day, and I would do my booklets on the side, and that 8 hours would translate into credits. So I got to canvas kind of around the city with a letter I had made to make a garden in the back of my group home, and that was my job for, you know, a whole summer pretty much, cultivating this garden. So that was my first kind of like access to doing that and exposure to doing that type of shit or stuff. And then what's it called? This lady made this place called Safe Space in Sault Ste. Marie, and we set up a safe injection site in Jamestown, and we were handing out meals in Jamestown and kind of just being the forefront on that fight, because we were losing a lot of people in that area and it was getting really bad. So we kind of had to fight the city on doing it and just, you know, be out there and actually implementing and doing it. So I did that, and then I just took a hiatus on my travels when I left the Sioux. And then like I tried some stuff on my own, but you know what I mean? You can only help so much on your own, and when you help too much on your own, you lose your apartment.
It puts you in a financial
yeah. Like I at one point had 23 people living in a one-bedroom apartment downtown Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, that's very kind.
Yeah,
But
and they
at
could
the
go
same
wait on the
time-
bench, and they could come upstairs if they didn't have anywhere to go at night. And it was like literally, I didn't even know some of these people.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I started like a little homeless shelter, but that didn't work out because it just got carried away and blah blah blah.
Yeah, unfortunately, but that's beautiful of you. Though.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, yeah, you kind of learn by doing those things.
You know
And now
what I-
it's just like I started, when the season opened up after winter this season, I started doing cleanups by myself, because I used to do this thing back home called Cleanup for Kids. We had a couple like barbecues, we do park cleanups, kind of like Unity does here on Sundays. So I started doing stuff like that, and that led me into meeting you know, people, organizations in the community. So then I met Jen at Cleanup Barry, and I started doing cleanups with her. And then I was doing a cleanup in an encampment with her and Ryan.
And that's how I met.
And that's when I met Ryan's Irish colors. And then I seen the Irish colors, the Irish background,
you know,
Snow Shamrock,
the
Irish background, Snow
Met
Shamrock,
Christine,
kind of heard the
met
story,
Christine,
and kind of heard the story,
really was
and
out
seen
here,
who
and,
Ryan really was out here, and all hands on deck with that one. All hands on deck with that one. It's just, you know, we're about 3 months, just, you know,
3 months or so down the line.
The line now,
down the
you know, I'm trying to synergize kind of like, you know, I'm trying to synergize kind of like what I do,
art,
and like journalism, broadcasting, like stuff journalism, like that, broadcasting, stuff like synergize, to kind of like synergize with what I do, and also help me, you know, be involved in my community, you know, be involved in my community, help me here. So
If you want to explain to us what, if you want to explain to us
this
what
is
Ryan's
an organization founded by
Ryan's Hope is an
organization founded by Christine Naylor 3 or 4 years ago from an opioid overdose. About 3 or 4 years ago from an opioid.
She started the organization
out of a depression and not knowing what to do.
She started the organization.
So she started it just
out of
simply
depression,
not knowing what to do.
Stuff at the
So
terminal.
she started it
here
just
about 3
simply
years ago,
and
handing
just
out
snowballed into
stuff at the
filling
terminal. Here
gaps
about 3
that
years
we
ago,
see fit
and
in the
just snowballed
community.
into
Filling
you know,
gaps that we see fit in the community.
You know, food and harm reduction that we're giving out, but we're really
it might just
giving,
be, you know,
food and harm reduction that we're giving out, but we're really giving
and a home,
you know,
for a lot of people that don't have
togetherness.
And I'm not saying
like
home as
understanding
like a house
and a
over your
home
head,
for a lot of
but
people
like
that don't
an
have
understanding,
and I'm not saying home as
togetherness,
a
right?
house
That's
over your
home.
head, but
For a lot of people, especially when you're a newcomer to Barrie,
togetherness,
right? That's
you know what I
home.
mean?
So for a lot of people, especially when you're a newcomer to Barrie or you're homeless, down the streets of Barrie,
Ryan's Hope
started
now
the Spirit Catcher,
does outreach.
Then we go to the library
down the streets of Barrie
with a
wagon
the Spirit Catcher,
and a group of us.
Then we go to the
harm
library,
reduction,
stuff like
Meridian
that. That's
with a
Wednesday,
wagon,
Thursday, Friday,
and a group
Thursday,
of us. Food,
Barrie
harm reduction,
Family
stuff
Unite
like that.
teams
That's
up Wednesday, Thursday,
and
Friday.
they do loads of laundry.
Barrie Families
I think
Unite
every
teams up
Thursday in different
Ryan's
locations for
Hope,
free,
and they
across
do
Barrie.
loads of laundry.
That's all offered.
I think it's every
And then,
Thursday in different
you know,
locations for
anytime
free
we're
across
there
Barrie to really help and
so that's all offered.
and then
Be reached and
you know
stuff like
anytime
that.
we're there to really help and they offer
be reached
encampment
and,
cleans
you know, stuff
where
like
it's
that.
incentivized. We pay them with grocery card money
they offer
to do the
encampment
cleanups
cleans
and then
where
where
it's
it's incentivized.
of course, breakfast
we pay
program
them
Friday,
grocery
Saturday,
card
Sunday
money
to do the
call your
cleanups,
church,
and then
they are in charge
of course breakfast
call your
program
church.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's
call your
a
church.
program, but
They are
we
in charge
share
of,
the
call
your church.
It's
the
Orion's
responsibilities
whole program,
of it.
Yeah.
But
so
we
they
share the
signed a contract
to run it from Monday
the
through
responsibilities
Thursday,
of it.
so we can do our
So
other
they
responsibilities.
signed a contract
and then
to
on
run
the
it
weekend
from
when we're not
Monday
doing
our
through
outreach
Thursday,
and that.
so we can do
They
our
take- we
other
take over
responsibilities
and do our
and
breakfast.
then
So
on
they're-
the weekend when
they're
we're not
taking
doing
care of that
our
for
the first 2 years or so of
they
it,
take
and
we
then,
take over,
and do our breakfast
to kind
so
of kickstart.
they're taking care of that for the first 2
initiative,
years
right?
or so
And
of
like,
it, and then
it's
been going strong
to
every
kinda
day,
kickstart
every day on the
the-
weekend, right? Or every day of the week.
the
you can
initiative,
get
right?
Hot breakfast
And,
and
like,
coffee. You
it's-
can berries.
it's
So been going strong every day,
every
every day on the
week.
weekend.
So that's
right?
an important
every day of the
thing,
week.
and
You
that's
can
not
get hot
offered.
breakfast and
Like, you don't have a
coffee,
soup
you can
kitchen
berries,
there,
so it's not offered anywhere.
Like,
Every
shut
day of
the
the
soup
week. So that's an
kitchen
important
down
thing.
April
you know?
1st.
That's not
Well,
that
offered.
wasn't really a
Like, you don't have a soup
kitchen. That was a
kitchen
bunch of
there,
people
so
at a
it's not
lineup
offered
at the
anywhere.
door.
No, they shut
Yeah,
the
yeah,
soup
yeah.
kitchen
Yeah, like in
down
Sault Ste. Marie, we have
April
half the
1st.
population.
Well, that wasn't really a soup
and we
kitchen,
have
that was
a
a
bunch of
kitchen
people at a
that could
lineup
sit
at the door
people.
inside
Yeah,
and
yeah,
serving
yeah.
meals.
Yeah,
Like in
every
Sault Ste. Marie, we have
You know
half the
what I mean?
population,
Every day.
and we have a
Well,
soup kitchen that
actually,
can sit
inside.
80
They
people
did do that
inside
here.
and serve the meals every day.
There is an inside
You know what I mean?
Salvation Army.
Every day.
Yeah, but there's
Well,
not enough
actually,
room
inside.
Since the
They
COVID,
did do
right?
that. Yeah, but there's not enough room inside
there is
Salvation
an
Army to
inside
sit down and eat.
Salvation Army.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
but
talking
there's
like
not enough
in the
room
Sioux,
since the
we have the
COVID,
old
right?
liquor store
Yeah,
that's
but there's
literally
not enough
like
room
all
inside
open,
Salvation
and
Army
there's
to sit down
probably
and
like
eat.
20
Like, I'm
tables.
talking,
Like
like,
in
long
the Sioux,
tables for people
we have
to
the
sit
old
at.
liquor store that's
And
literally
there's a-
like
there's a
all
whole
open,
church.
and
There's
there's
another
probably
church. There's
like
probably 3 or
20
4 spots
tables,
like that
like
in the
long
city.
tables
Oh,
for people to
okay.
sit
You know what I
at.
mean?
There
And like,
was.
and there's
You
there's
can
a
go
whole
and they'll give
church.
you
There's
food
another
hampers
church. There's
at
probably
them.
3 or 4
You know what I
spots
mean? They
like
give
that
food
in the
boxes
city.
here.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right,
You
but
know
that's
what
at
I
the
mean?
food bin.
Like,
Where
you
you
can
can
go
go
and
and they'll give you
not
food
where you're
hampers at them.
transient or
You know what I mean? They
homeless
get
and don't
food
have an
boxes
address,
here,
let alone
right? But that's at
ID,
the food bin.
and they'll give you food
You need
hampers,
ID. You know what
not
I mean?
where you're
Every other
transient
Thursday,
or you're
yeah.
homeless and
I
don't
think
have
it's
an
I think
address,
it's twice
let alone
every
ID.
other month,
And they'll give you
so
food
you can
hampers,
flip
you know
flop.
what I mean?
Because the health
Every other
services are
Thursday, or
deeply impacting
I think
the
it's
last little bit,
twice
so it's like
every other
month
month now.
So you can flip flop
between
because
Sally
the
Ann
services are
and the other
deeply
one.
impacting the last little bit.
So it's like
St.
every other
Vincent's
month
and
now.
Sioux.
So
And you can flip
there's
flop
lots of
between
options
Sally
out here,
Ann
and there's like
and the other one.
One thing we don't have in the Sioux is
St.
love
Vincent's
those like
in the Sioux.
drop by food boxes.
There's lots of
like
options
the
out
like
here,
the
and
Lend a
there's, like,
Library boxes.
one thing we don't have in the Sioux is a lot
There's
of those
tons
like
of
drop by
there's
food
one down
boxes,
on
like the
Lend a Library.